So, have you ever just sat there staring into space and hit that massive question? Where did all of this come from? Everything. It's a question so big, it can just stop you in your tracks.
And yeah, I think we've all been there, right? When you're up against a question that huge, it's easy to feel completely overwhelmed. Like the scale of it is just too much.
But hang on, what if we're just looking at it the wrong way? Let's try to flip the script a little. Instead of some terrifying, empty void, what if we thought about our reality as a game, a really, really complex and well-designed video game?
Okay, so let's jump into our first big idea here, reality's rulebook. Because think about it. Every single game you've ever played runs on a set of rules, right? It's the source code. And this idea suggests our universe is pretty much the same. In any game, there are physics you can't break. Fire burns, gravity pulls you down. If you jump off a cliff, you're gonna fall. Well, our reality has its own version of that, just on a cosmic level. We call them the laws of physics, the perfect, unbreakable rules of our existence. The speed of light isn't up for debate. E is always going to equal mc squared. That's the source code, the fundamental programming that makes our universe tick. And that, right there, leads to the ultimate mystery. Were these incredibly precise, life-supporting rules intentionally designed by some kind of master programmer? Or are we just living in one super lucky version of the game, out of maybe billions of others in a multiverse, where the settings just happen to be perfect for us to even exist?
All right, so if the laws of physics are the software running this whole game, it begs the question, where's the hard drive? Where is all of this information, all this data actually being kept? So let's call it the cosmic souple. And no, we're not talking about your lunch. Think of it as a conceptual container, a structure that holds the potential for everything in the universe, all the raw data before it even becomes a star or a planet or you. This idea of a giant cosmic hard drive isn't totally new. Some traditions call it the Akashic record field. The best way to think about it is like a universal iCloud or a cosmic server. Every single action, every thought, every vibration leaves a permanent digital footprint. In this model, nothing is ever really lost or deleted. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This means we're not just some passive characters running around in the game. We are actively shaping it. Every single choice you make, every skill you develop, it's like another ingredient being stirred into that massive cosmic soup, changing the flavor of reality for everyone. Which brings us to the next massive, maybe even the biggest question of all. If we've got a game and a hard drive to store it on, who were the developers? I mean, who actually built this thing? So there are a few major theories floating around. The first one is the programmer, the idea that some super advanced being literally coded our reality, hit run, and here we are. That implies there's some kind of grand design. Another theory is that it was all just a cosmic accident. Gravity and entropy bumped into each other and poof, everything. No designer, just pure chance. And then there's the really wild one, a universal AI, a consciousness so vast it created our entire universe just to have a place to think. It's an infinite self-creating loop. But that last idea, the self-creating loop, it's got a pretty heavy implication. If the universe just hits the reset button over and over again, then there's no real progress. Every achievement, every discovery would just get wiped clean to start all over. It kind of takes the point out of playing the game, doesn't it? But okay, regardless of who wrote the code, let's go even deeper. Let's talk about the moment before the idea, before a single line of code was ever written. What was going on in the pre-planning phase of reality? Before you have solid concepts, you just have a field of potential. It's a vibe, and we can actually sense it. Seriously, think about it. You're playing a video game, you see a high ledge, and you just get a feeling for its jump ability. You haven't done it yet, but you can feel the potential. The universe gives us these same kinds of clues, and we pick up on them through things like intuition, empathy, and discovery. So how do we tap into that field of potential? The idea here is a really powerful twist on a classic line. We all know, let there be light. But what if the real motto was, let there be like? It's not about a command from on high. It's about a personal choice, a choice to be like the divine creative source of the universe, to become a part of the creation process. And this presents us with a huge choice about where we get our inspiration. You can think of it like two different networks you can log into. On one side, you've got this Crystic Conscience server, a pure, creative, advanced source. It's like having a direct line to the game's lead developer.
On the other side, there's the Sinternet, a noisy, corrupted, chaotic network powered by social media pings and endless distraction. One helps you build, the other just eats your time.
So to connect to that pure creative source, you need energy. This model pictures it as a threefold flame battery right inside our soul. It's not a literal battery, of course, but it's a great metaphor for our core spiritual energy, that personal power that fuels our inspiration, protects our focus, and gives us the juice to actually create things in the world.
And this is where all this big cosmic talk gets super personal. Because this isn't just a story about the universe out there. It's a practical guide for how you and I can go from being simple players in the game to becoming its co-creators.
And it follows a clear process, a lot like how you develop a piece of software. First, you use your intuition to sense the potential. You catch that vibe of what could be. Then, you commit. You create a charter for it. After that, you do a quick feasibility study. Do you actually have the resources and energy? And then, you start building. You start co-creating.
And I gotta tell you, this step, the charter, is absolutely everything. We all have a million maybes floating around in our heads. The charter is that moment you grab one and say, no, this is worth my soul's time and energy. It's when you turn a vague idea into a real must-do mission.
So what this all boils down to is that your choices, your chartered missions, they aren't just for you. They're tangible. Every single project you commit to, every idea you bring to life, is another brick being laid in the foundation of our shared reality.
The point is, we are not just living in some pre-built world that's already finished. We are its ongoing architects. Every day, with every choice we make, we are literally helping to build the world around us, shaping the game for ourselves and for everyone else.
Which leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question of all. If you are an architect of reality and your choices are the bricks, what are you building?